आगे सब लोग just give the comment. Yeah, Anu, are you there? So you're asking like how higher value lower value changed. Remember I wrote it wrongly. Okay, गलत लिखा है यहाँ पे, तो गलत लिखा है यहाँ पे. So this is what lower value byte stored in the lower address. This is a lower value byte and this is the higher value byte. Okay, I wrote wrongly. Okay, यहाँ पे because I just wrote like that, just like that. So यहाँ पे क्या होगा, lower value byte only. So change नहीं हुआ है. So 101100. So this one will be 0000001. Okay. So lower value byte stored in the lower address. Higher value byte stored in the higher address. This 100, 101. So I wrote wrongly. Anu, are you there? Anu, are you there? Because you are asking that question. How higher value lower value changed? So remember higher value lower value changed na UI. Okay, I just wrote by mistake. Okay, here is a lower value, here is higher value. There is no change. Okay, why you are asking this one? How 300 will be stored? How 300 will be stored in the memory? I told in the previous example only. The same thing I am doing here. So I wrote wrongly. Here it is a lower value, here it is a higher value. Right. Okay, exchange na UI exactly same. How 300 will be stored in the memory? I told in the previous example only. Just follow that. How 300 will be stored in the memory that I told in the previous example only. Anu, are you there? Yeah, have you understood? Anu, समझ में आया बेटा? I wrote it just by mistake, okay? Because you understand it very easily. I told you already, lower value byte stored in the lower address, higher value byte stored in the higher address. So 300 कैसे store होगा memory में? Already previous example में बताया. Just follow that only, right? Okay. So that is about the typecasting, right? So next, keep the heading void pointers. Okay. Okay, void pointers. Note down the points. Note down first point. Just like we had, just like okay, we have, just like we have integer and character pointer. I have written there. Just like we have, just like we have a integer and character pointer. Integer and character pointer. Similarly, we can also have a void pointer. Similarly, we can also have a void pointer. Now, second point. In the void pointer, second point. In the void pointer, we can store. In the void pointer, we can store address of any type of variable. In the void pointer, we can store address of any type of variable. While accessing the data, while accessing the data, while accessing the data, we need to perform, while accessing the data, we need to perform the typecasting, while accessing the data, we need to perform the typecasting. While accessing the data, we need to perform the typecasting respectively. Need to perform the typecasting respectively. Full stop. Second point, third point. Third point. Typecasting is required. Typecasting is required because typecasting is required because void pointer does not know void pointer does not know how many bytes void pointer does not know how many bytes it has to dereference. Void pointer does not know how many bytes it has to dereference. No doubt. Next, void pointers are used. Void pointers are used in the device driver programming. Void pointers are used in void pointers are used in device driver programming. Device driver programming. Copy this program. Jahnavi Nema. First point is what? Just like we have, just like we have a integer and character pointer. Similarly, we can also have a void pointer. That's it. Similarly, we can also have a void pointer. Copy all this. कॉपी करने के बाद कमेंट करो. So this is a G, character G. Okay. Right. So understand here. So what is the meaning of this? Okay, look at here, star. Okay, void star VP. So this is called as what? Declaring the void pointer. That is called as a declaring void pointer. So just like we have normal integer and character pointer, similarly we can also have what? Void pointer. But remember, in the void pointer we can store address of what? Any type of variable, right? But what is the problem? The problem is when you are accessing the data. While accessing the data, we need to perform the typecasting accordingly. Typecasting करना जरूरी है. Why typecasting is required? Because the void pointer don't know how many bytes of the data it has to dereference. How many bytes of data it has to dereference. So if you want to access the how many bytes of data you want to access, so you need to perform the typecasting accordingly, right? Okay, understand here. You will understand that. So listen carefully. Void star VP. So what is this called as a note down? Note down in the comments. VP is a pointer variable. Note down. VP is a pointer variable of type void. VP is a pointer variable of type void. Where we can store address of any type of variable. Any type of variable. Okay, right. So VP is saying that, okay, that is just a pointer variable of type void. We can store address of any type of variable, right? Fine. And next character ch equal to G. Okay, just declaring a simple character. So that is G. It is having some base address 100 and integer j equal to 20. That is simple integer variable. And this is just a okay string declaring the string character star p equal to Google. So what is the meaning of this diagram? How the diagram will look like? So this is how the diagram will look like. You are requesting compiler to allocate memory for the string Google, and the base address of that will be stored in the pointer variable p. Okay, so that is about declaring all the variables. Okay, character variable, and next this is the integer and this is the string. And next, now in the VP equal to address of ch. Now tell me, we are simply storing address of a character. So VP is what? Void pointer. VP is a void pointer, and I am storing address of character here. So when you are storing the address of character, do you actually require typecasting here? No. While storing the address, it is not expecting any typecasting. Why? Because it is itself saying that it can take address of any type of variable. वो खुद ही बोल रहा है कि वो किसी का भी एड्रेस डालो मैं ले लूंगा, exactly. So when you are assigning the address of someone, okay, anyone, it will simply take, it will accept, okay. So it will not say anything, it will not give any error here. So it is not giving any error. So okay, in the VP you are storing address of CH. So what is address of CH here? 100. So when you are storing 100, okay, it is started pointing to this. Okay, it started pointing to this. And next, but remember, if you want to print that through the void pointer, look at here. If I give star VP simply, if I say simply star VP means what? Value at the location VP, value at the location 100. So that is Z. But remember, without typecasting, if you do that, it will give you what? Error. It will give error because okay, it is not having the clarity. A void pointer can take address of any type of variable, so it is not having okay, clarity that okay, it is trying to print character data, it is trying to print integer data, it is not having clarity. So you should give the clarity by performing typecasting. So now look at if I typecasting to character pointer, so this is called as what? Typecasting to character pointer. So when you are doing typecasting to character pointer, so when you typecast into character pointer, so now it is having the clarity. Now when you typecast into character pointer, so now it is having the clarity that now it should access how many bytes of data? Only 1 byte of data. Only 1 byte of data. So understand here. Okay. So the answer is no. So when you say character star VP, simply it will print how much? 1 byte of data. What is the output printed here? G. So if you don't do the typecasting, what happens? That will give you error. Why error? Because it doesn't know how many bytes okay, it has to print. It has to access. Okay, right. And next you are storing address of J. So in storing address of J here, address of J is 200, and when I store 200 here, so this pointer is no more. Now it is pointing to this one. And next, okay, you are storing the address of integer here. J is what? Integer. So VP is a void pointer. You are storing address of integer. Will it give any error? No error. Why? Because okay, you can store address of any type of variable. So it is not giving any error. But remember, when you are printing that with the help of okay, void pointer, so you need to do the typecasting here. So this is called as what? Same typecasting to what? Typecasting to integer pointer. So why you are typecasting to integer pointer? Because it doesn't know how many bytes it has to access. Okay, because you are assigned the integer address, you want to access how many bytes now? 2 bytes. You want to access 2 bytes. So now you are typecasting to integer pointer means okay, it is having clarity now. It should access only 2 bytes. So next, if I say star VP, tell me value at the location 200. How much is that? 20. So what's the output? It will get 20. And next, VP equal to P here. Now tell me VP equal to P. What is there in the P here? 300. So if you assign 300 here, so this pointer is no more. Now it is also pointing to what? This. Now next, okay, if I say percentage yes, okay, character star. Look at your typecasting to character pointer. You say VP plus 3. Now look at here, percentage yes. Percentage yes को क्या देना चाहिए? Base address. So here VP plus 3. VP means how much? VP means how much here? 300. So 300 plus 3 means how many bytes it should increment? Only 1 byte. Why? 1 byte increment करना बोल के कैसे मालूम होगा? Because your typecast it to character pointer. So when you typecast it to character pointer, it will jump how many bytes? Only 1 byte. So this becomes 303. So it means okay, for the percentage yes, for the percentage yes, you are providing the base address 303. So from the base address 303, it will print all the characters until the null character. So 300, 301, 302, 303. So what it will print? Okay, GLE. So it will print from the 303. So from here, GLE. Right? Is this clear for everyone? Right? So okay, now look at here why you are typecasting to character pointer here, because okay, how many bytes it should jump when you are incrementing. That clarity will come okay when you are doing this typecasting. If you don't do this typecasting, that will give you error. If you don't do this typecasting, or you say VP plus 3, कितने bytes jump करना, clarity नहीं है, तो it will give error. Is that clear? And somebody is asking, sir, there is no star here. Why star is required? Okay, because percentage s requires what? A base address. Percentage s is expecting base address. So you are giving the base address only, right? So that is the okay GLE. Is that clear for everyone? समझ में आया सबको? Copy all this, copy this one and this output. Is this clear for everyone? समझ में आया सबको? Okay, pointer to function. So this is a prototype. So copy this. Pointer to function. Just note down 1, 2, 3. Just numbering, just for understanding purpose. No, Preeto Saha, no. केशव गौर पूछ रहे कि कब खत्म होगा सर पॉइंटर. चलने दो पॉइंटर जब तक चलता है. राइट. कॉपीड. Right. Okay. So this is just a okay pointer to the function. So I think all of you copied. So what is the meaning of pointer to function? Listen here. Okay. So pointer to the function. Listen here. So same thing like okay, we are having a pointer to the integer, pointer to character. So same thing, pointer to array. So just like that, you are also having what, a pointer to the function. But remember, function pointers are not very popular. So generally, if you want to access any function, okay, inside your main, what you can do is you can just declare the okay function as what, a global. Everybody knows you can write, you can declare the function as a global, and you can just simply call from wherever you want in the main function. Is that clear? So I'm repeating, function pointers are not very popular. Okay, why? Because if you want to okay call the function, you can simply declare the function outside the main. Write the code of the function outside the main. So it means you make the function as what, a global. Then inside the main, okay, wherever you want, you can simply call that function, right? So understand here, but still, okay, we should study the function pointers because you should know like okay, function pointer is also there, and how the function pointer will be declared, and how the base address will be assigned, and how you are going to call the function through the pointer. Okay, that we are going to study here. Okay, so understand here, void test, that is just a prototype. Okay, look at here. So void main, void main, you are having okay, in the main function you are having 1 2 3 statements. What is the meaning of this? Remember, this is okay, called as declaring the function pointer. What is the meaning of this? Number one, declaring the function pointer. So I'm repeating, number one meaning of the number one, declaring the function pointer. Okay, so what is the meaning of declaring the function pointer? Okay, what you are going to study this, isko kya padhoge? Listen here, void, okay, you are having bracket and bracket. So what you are going to study this, क्या बोलना चाहिए, क्या बोलना चाहिए? So क्या बोलना चाहिए, what you have to read, okay, that Dennis Ritchie clearly given the rules and regulations. Dennis Ritchie is clearly given the rules and regulations. Okay, how you have to read this? You start from left to right. You start from left to right. So when you come from the left to right, you are having two brackets here. So this bracket and this bracket. So the two brackets are there. So this bracket is having what? Associativity is what? Left to right. I told in the first day class. The bracket is having associativity left to right. So which bracket you have to read first? Left bracket. So inside the left bracket you are having star and P. So which one you have to read first? P बोलना चाहिए, star बोलना चाहिए, pointer P बोलना चाहिए, या P is a pointer बोलना चाहिए? So P is a pointer बोलना चाहिए because operand is having high precedence compared to operator. So you have to say P is a pointer first. Left bracket you complete. Left bracket you complete. So P is a pointer. Okay, so very clear, P is a pointer. Okay, fine. If the P is a pointer, so then P is pointer to whom? To whom it is a pointer? So P is a pointer to the function. P is a pointer to the function which does not take any arguments. When you say it is a function, is it taking an argument? No, it is not taking any arguments. Okay, then it is a function means it should return something. So it is returning what? Void. Returning void. So this is how you are going to read that statement. So I'm repeating, you start from left to right. Okay, you are having two brackets, the first left bracket. Inside that you are having star and P. So what you say first? P. So P is a pointer. P is a pointer, that is fine. Pointer to whom? To the function. When you say it is a function, is it taking an argument? No, no arguments. Okay, when you say function, is it returning anything? Okay, returning void. Okay, so this is how you have to say. So note down the first step meaning, note down. Note down, declaring a function pointer. Copy that. Declaring the function pointer. First statement. And how you are going to read this? So you can write if you want. This is number one. This is number two. So declaring the function pointer. Okay, right. Note down next line. Meliko. P is a pointer to the function P is a pointer to the function P is a pointer to the function which does not take any argument, and returns void. Returns void. Okay, right. So this is called as what? Declaring the function pointer. Is that is that clear? You are declaring the function pointer on what is called as P is a pointer to a function. Okay, it's a pointer to the function which does not take any arguments and returns what? Void. And next, second statement. What's the meaning of second statement? Okay, second, P equal to test means we are assigning the base address of the test function. We are assigning the base address of the test function to the pointer variable P. Is that clear? So the test function means this also having some memory. Okay, somewhere it is stored in the memory, and this also having some base address. So that base address will be assigned to what? A pointer variable p. So this is how you are going to assign the base address. Okay, note down. Okay, second statement. Meaning of the second statement. Second meaning. Assigning the base address of the base address of the test function. Assigning the base address of the test function to the pointer variable p. Assigning the base address of the test function, okay, to the pointer variable p. Okay, so that is the meaning of that. So the next now the third point, okay, third point here. So what is the meaning of third point? Listen carefully. Third point. Okay, what is the meaning of this third statement? If you write like this, this is called as calling the function through pointer variable p. Calling the function through pointer variable p. No doubt. So what is this called as calling the function? Calling the function through pointer variable p. Calling the function through pointer variable p. Okay, right. So when you're calling the function through pointer variable p, tell me what is the output printed here? Output. Okay, so you are simply calling the function through the pointer variable p. This is called as a calling. So when you call this test function, so what is the output printed here? Hello will be printed. So this is the output. Okay, right. So in case if anybody is having doubt here, you can execute. This is a executable program only, right? So this is how you declare the function pointer to declare karo, right? So this is called as assigning the base address, and this is called as a calling the function. So you can do this, right? So that is the executable program. That is the executable program. So if you are having a doubt, you can execute the program and check. Okay. So that is pointer to the function. Is this clear for everyone? Okay. Right. Harshit Garg, you will understand that in the tomorrow's class. Don't worry. Okay. Is this clear for everyone? Right. Okay. So that is a pointer to the function. So just concept wise आपको मालूम होना चाहिए. Is that clear? So doesn't matter. Okay, right? What is the meaning of all that? So just आपको मालूम होना चाहिए. So what is the meaning of all that? Okay, right. Next we are having a terminology for various expressions. Yeah, you are going to do that, Arshit Garg. Now next we'll do that. Okay, right. So terminology for various expressions. Okay, now look at here. So some explanation, right? A declaration is there. So what is the terminology you are going to say? Terminology for various expressions. Now the same thing, void star p, okay, function. Tell me, copy this. What you are going to write? Write down. Speed up. Harshit Garg, this is the same only. हाँ बताओ टर्मिनोलॉजी, जल्दी जल्दी पढ़ो, जल्दी जल्दी बोलो अच्छे से and write down. Terminology means what you are going to pronounce. क्या बोलोगे, क्या बोलोगे, right? Meaningfully you have to say, right? So how you are going to execute this, how you are going to do this? You start from left to right. You are having two brackets. So you are having two brackets. Which bracket you study first? Left, because the bracket is having associativity left to right. So the first you read this. What inside this you are having star p. What you will read first? P, because P is operand and star is operator. Operand is having high precedence compared to operator. So you say P is a pointer. Okay, P is a pointer. So when you say P is a pointer, so pointer to whom? Okay, function. When you say it is a pointer to the function, is it taking an argument? No. Okay, when you say it is a function, is it returning anything? Yes. Okay, that is void. Okay, so note down. P is a pointer. Speed up. P is a pointer to function which does not take any arguments, which does not take any arguments, which does not take any arguments, and return type is void, returns void. Returns void. Copy this. Int star p, sorry, teacher int. सेकंड जल्दी जल्दी क्या पढ़ोगे इसको? Right. So what do you read this? Same. Okay. So p is a pointer, pointer to a function. Okay. So p is a pointer to a function, that is fine. Okay. So when you say p is a pointer to a function, yes, sir. Is it taking an argument? Yes, sir. Okay. It is taking two integers as an argument. Two integers as an argument. And when you say function, is it returning anything? Yes, sir. It returns okay, integer. Returns integer. Right? You can copy this. P is a pointer to a function which takes two integers as an argument and returns what? Integer. Note down. So P is a pointer function. P is a pointer to function which takes two integers as argument. Which takes two integers as argument and returns integer. And two integers as an argument and returns integer. Aniket Rathod, the first one is exactly same as the previous one. First one is same as in the function pointer you wrote. Same thing. Now tell me, number 3. Okay. Tell me, what do you read this? Terminology. Meaningfully you do. Meaningfully you do. That is a simple only, right? Simple, right? Okay. Same thing. Okay. You start from left to right. So you are having two brackets here. You are having two brackets. Which one you read first? First one. So in this you are having star and p. Which one you read this first? P. P is a pointer. So p is a pointer to a function. Okay. That is fine. So you say p is a pointer to a function. Yes, sir. Is it taking any arguments? Yes, sir. It is taking integer pointer as argument. It is taking integer pointer as argument. Integer pointer means what? Integer address. Integer address. So it is taking integer pointer as argument. Okay, ठीक it is taking some argument. And when you say you are a function, okay, when you say it is a pointer to a function, so function means it is taking an argument. Yes, sir. It is taking the argument, integer pointer as argument. So is it returning anything? Yes, sir. Returning what? Integer pointer. Returning also integer pointer. It means you are returning some integer address आप return कर रहे हो. Is that here? You are returning some integer address. Okay, right. So note down. P is a pointer to function which takes integer pointer as argument and returns integer pointer. हो गया? Okay. So what is this here? Okay, what do you read this? Integer a of 5. So a is a array of 5 elements. A is a array of 5 elements where every element is what? Integer. So a is a array of integers, 5 integers. Simple. So how the diagram will look like? Okay, let's say like this. So a is a array of 5 integers. Okay, simple. Everybody knows this already, right? No doubt. A is an array of 5 elements where every element is integer. A is an array of 5 elements where every element is integer. So that everybody knows. So speed up. Integer star a of 5. Already लिखे थे notes में. This one you already wrote in the notes. What is this called as? You start from left to right. Wherever the operand, stop there. So operand is what? A. A is operand. For this operand, the two people are fighting, adjacent people. There is a square bracket and a pointer. So there is a square bracket and pointer. So which is the winner? So which one is having high precedence? Square bracket. So बोलना क्या चाहिए? First you have to say A is a array of 5 elements. Okay, A is a array of 5 elements where every element is what? Integer pointer. So this is one way. The other way, generally we said that A is an array of pointers of type integer where we can store addresses of 5 integers. So kaise bhi bolo, the meaning is the same only. Okay, so I'm writing here A is an array of 5 elements. Okay, where every element is what? Every element is a integer pointer. Where every element is a integer pointer. So or you can also say A is an array of pointers. Is an array of pointers of type integer where we can store addresses of 5 integers. Okay, so how the diagram will look like? So I'm writing the diagram here. We are having 5 elements and this is a pointer to integer. It's a pointer to integer, pointer to integer. So this is the meaning of this. Now tell me. Now this is interesting. Integer or A. Copy this. So going to read this. Listen here. You start from left to right. Listen carefully when I am explaining. Listen carefully. Right. Understand here. Okay. So just listen here. When you are understand here. When you are reading this, just listen carefully. You start from left to right. You start from left to right. Okay, you are having two brackets here. So this bracket and this bracket. Now tell me, among this one and this one, which bracket is having high precedence? I told you to download operator precedence table. I told you to download operator precedence table in the C language. So you download that from the Google and you take the printout and keep that in your wall. Okay, post it on your wall. Is that clear? Right? So दीवार के चिपका के रखो बोल के बोला. Right. So now look at here. So when you start reading from left to right, you are having two brackets. So which one is having high precedence? So this is having high precedence. Remember, this is having high precedence. So what you have to say this first? Okay, first inside this you are having star and A. So what you will say first? A. A is the pointer. So the first you will say A is a pointer. Listen carefully. First you will say A is a pointer. So when you say A is a pointer, ठीक है, A is a pointer. Pointer किसके लिए है? Pointer to whom? So A is a pointer to what? Array of 5 elements. The first step, A is a pointer, ठीक है. Pointer to whom? Pointer to array of 5 elements. So when you say it's an array of 5 elements, so what is that every element? every element is what? Just integer. Every element is just integer. Is that clear? Right. So how the diagram will look like? So let's say you are having a, okay, you are having array of 5 elements here. You are having 5 elements and your A is okay, pointer to this array of 5 elements. So this is how, okay, it will look like. Is that clear? Right. So क्या लिखोगे? A is the, okay, so I'm writing here. So A is the pointer to an array of 5 elements, where every element is a integer. Copy karo. Just numbering also you write down. Remember, the rules are already framed. Okay, rules are already given. Rules are already framed in the C language. So all are following. We should follow the same rules. What is given in the C language. So okay, first you have to read this bracket. So this is A. A is a pointer to array. So ठीक है, A is a pointer to array. So pointer to array. So that array is having 5 elements, and where what is that? Every element is an integer. So A is a pointer to array of 5 elements, and where every element is what? Integer. So this is how the diagram will be. So your A is a pointer to this okay, entire array of 5 elements. Is this clear for everyone? Copied? Number कितना था? Number I think 6 or whatever. Now tell me what is this called as? Numbering check करो. 5 हो गया, 6 हो गया. What is this number? Tell me what do you read this? Number 6. Integer star A function. क्या पढ़ोगे? Come on, come on. Come on, come on. There is a Telugu song, the latest movie. The Come on, come on, Kalavati something. Okay, right. So somebody giving right answer, somebody giving wrong answer. Okay, somebody giving a right, somebody giving a wrong answer. Aditya Sivata. Yes, Mahesh Babu sang. Huh? You follow South Indian movies also, right? Good. Okay. So fine. Listen here. So you start from left to right. You start from left to right. Okay. Wherever you are having operand, wherever you are having operand, stop there. So wherever you are having operand, stop there, because operand is having high precedence compared to operator. Operand is having high precedence compared to operator. So first what you will say, okay, you have to say A. Okay, बोलना क्या चाहिए, बोलना क्या चाहिए, A बोलना चाहिए. तो ठीक है, A. So A के लिए the two people are fighting. So this is a bracket and this is a star. So for A, the two people are fighting. Obviously, adjacent people only will fight. So this is a bracket and this is a okay star. So which one is having high precedence? This one is having high precedence. So what you have to say first? A is a pointer बोलना चाहिए. A is a function बोलना चाहिए. A is the function because this is having the high precedence. That is having the high precedence. Okay, right. So that is a okay, right. So A is the function. Remember what is that here? A is the function. You have to say this first. Okay, remember there is no bracket here. You should not say A is a pointer. अगर यहाँ पे bracket होता, if there is a bracket, then you will say A is a pointer. अगर यहाँ पे bracket होता, then you will say A is a pointer. So यहाँ पे bracket नहीं है. So there is no bracket here. You have to say A is the function. So fine. When you say A is a function, okay, function means is it taking any arguments? No, it is not taking any arguments. When it's not taking any arguments, okay, the function means returning something. So it's returning what? Integer pointer. So A is the function which is not taking any arguments and returns what? Int star. Returns int star. It means that is a integer pointer. It returns integer pointer. So note down. A is the function. A is a function which does not take any arguments. Which does not take any arguments. A is a function which does not take any arguments. Which does not take any arguments and returns integer pointer. Returns integer pointer. समझ में आया? Okay. Meaningfully you do that. Character double star. Okay, star A star star closing bracket. Come on, come on. Yeah, Gaurav Kumar, that is not required. Siddharth Soni, which one will it store address? Where it is stored? Right. So same thing. Okay, you start from left to right. You are having two brackets. So which bracket you read first? Okay, this bracket you read first. So A is a pointer. Okay, A is a pointer. So the first you say A is a pointer. Okay, that is fine. So when you say A is a pointer here, because bracket is there, A is a pointer. So pointer to whom? Pointer to function. So this function is taking arguments? Yes, it is taking 2 pointers as argument. What type of pointer? It is not mentioned, so you don't worry. Is that clear? It is not mentioned what type of pointer, so you don't worry. So pointer means what? It is taking 2 addresses. What type of addresses? We don't know, right? So A is a pointer to your function. Okay, first step, A is a pointer to your function. Okay, okay, when you say is a pointer to function, okay, is it taking arguments? Yes, sir. It is taking 2 pointers as argument. What type of pointer? We don't know. It is taking 2 pointers as argument. And when you say function, is it returning anything? Yes, sir. Returns character double pointer. Returns character double pointer. Okay. So character double pointer means what? A pointer, pointer to pointer. Okay. So note down. A is a pointer. Pointer to function. A is a pointer to function which takes 2 pointers as argument, which takes 2 pointers, as argument. A is a pointer to a function which takes 2 pointers as argument and returns character double pointer. Hmm. So meaningfully you try. Meaningfully you try. Meaningfully you try. Hmm. Slowly I am increasing the complexity. Slowly I am increasing. Come on. Meaningfully you try. Excellent. Bhumika, right. So understand here, okay, very good. So many students are giving right answer. You start from left to right. You start from left to right. You are having two brackets here. So this bracket and this bracket. Okay. You start from left to right. You are having two brackets. This one and this one. So which bracket you read first? Left bracket. Is that clear? Because bracket is having associativity left to right. Is that clear? See, I'm not saying that. Dennis Ritchie clearly showed. Is that clear? So Dennis Ritchie clearly told. Okay, वो तुम्हारा बात नहीं है, मेरा बात नहीं है. बात किसका मान रहा है अपन? डेनिस रिचे का बात मान रहा है. Is that clear? Right? So understand here. So okay, understand. So first left bracket you have to read first. So when you are reading the left bracket, okay, you are having okay, read again from left to right. Again you are having star, A and array. So what you will say first? Okay, A, because A is okay having operand. Operand is having high precedence. So what is A here? Okay, A के लिए adjacent people are fighting star and array. So what you will say first? A is the array. A is a array of 5 elements where every element is what? A pointer. Where A is a array. Understand carefully. A is a array of 5 elements. A is array of 5 elements where every element is a pointer. So this you know already. A is array of pointers. You can say like this. A is array of 5 pointers. Say this same thing. Meaning of all that is same. क्या बोल सकते? A is a array of 5 elements where every element is what? A pointer. A is a array of pointers. Okay, right? कुछ भी बोलो, meaning is same only. Meaning is same. Right? Okay, very good. So I'm reading. So first you will say A is a array. First, A is array of 5 elements where every element is what? A pointer. A is array of pointers. A is array of pointer. Okay, what is that pointer doing? Okay, pointer is pointing to function which does not take any arguments and returns integer. So I'm repeating. Listen carefully. A is a, okay, इसको क्या बोलना है तुमको पता है? A is a array of 5 elements where every element is what? A pointer. Every element is a pointer. Listen here. A is a array of 5 elements. A is array of 5 elements where every element is what? Okay, pointer. So every element is a pointer, that is fine. Every element is a pointer, that is fine. Pointer to whom? That is pointer to a function. Okay, every element is a pointer to a function. Okay, is it taking an argument? No, it is not taking an argument. Okay, A is array of 5 elements where every element is a, okay, pointer. Every element is a pointer. Pointer to whom? Okay, to the function which does not take any arguments and returns what? Integer. Returns integer. Is that clear? Right? So I'm repeating. A is a array of 5 elements where every element is a pointer. So every element is a pointer है, तो pointer किसके लिए है? Pointer to what? Pointer to function which does not take any arguments and returns integer. So just a rough diagram I will give you. Okay, for this is easy. Okay, so you can write. Okay, so look at here. It's a pointer to a function. So this is a pointer to a function which does not take an argument and returns integer. So this is how. So same thing like this. Right? So okay, this is the diagram. Okay, just a rough idea. Okay, no need for everything, no need of diagram, just a rough idea. So just note down. A is an array of 5 elements. A is array of 5 elements where every element is what? Every element is a pointer to a function where every element is a pointer to a function which does not take any argument, and returns. Okay, A is an array of 5 elements where every element is a pointer to a function which does not take any arguments, okay, and returns integer. गोविंद मिश्रा is saying, सर पूरा इंजीनियरिंग निकल गई लेकिन प्रोग्रामिंग की ऐसी नॉलेज कभी नहीं मिली. थैंक यू सर, यू आर ग्रेट. ओके, गोविंद मिश्रा, थैंक यू बेटा. ओके, राविश, आई डिड इट फॉर यू. Yeah, Aftab Ansari, very good. So almost everyone is giving the meaningful statements. Okay, come on, come on, come on. Number 9. Oh my God. uh, Brackets are correct. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Right. Come on. मजा आएगा इसमें. करो. Meaningfully you try. Meaningfully you try. Meaningfully you try. You take, don't take any tension. टेंशन लिए तो नहीं होगा. राहुल, क्या डाउट था तुम्हारा? तुम्हारा डाउट ऊपर निकल गया. क्या डाउट था? A is array of elements where each a function arguments. Yeah, that is correct only. तुम्हारा डाउट कहाँ है? डाउट तो नहीं. हर्षित श्रीवास्तव. या ऑलमोस्ट एवरीवन इज डूइंग गुड. सब लोग लाइन में आ गया. एक बार बोल दिया तो पकड़ लेना बस. एक बार बोल दिया तो पकड़ लेना, ऐसा रहना चाहिए. कंप्यूटर साइंस इंजीनियर्स कैसा रहना है? यू शुड बी वेरी स्मार्ट. मीनिंगफुली यू ट्राई, डोंट टेक ए टेंशन. टेंशन लिए तो गलत होगा. सर वन पैरेंथिस एक्स्ट्रा नहीं है, कहाँ है? ओपन ब्रैकेट 3 है, क्लोजिंग ब्रैकेट 3 है. या परफेक्ट. ब्रैकेट्स आर करेक्ट. रिकी कुमार. राहुल, तुम्हारा डाउट तो है नहीं मेरे पास. क्या डाउट था तुम्हारा? पूछे ही नहीं तुम्हारा डाउट. एक्स है ना वहां पे? एक्स है. ओके, एक्स इज गिवन, दैट इज एक्स. अरे Yeah, no, don't worry, I will explain. Okay, Ashish Srivastava, I think maybe your internet speed is very slow. Right. So it's okay. Right. So time up. So you start from left to right. Okay, you start from left to right. You are having this bracket. You are having this bracket and this bracket. Okay, right. So listen here. You are having the two brackets there. Okay, left bracket and right bracket. So which bracket you read first? Left bracket you read first. Right. And in the left bracket again you are having, look at here, left bracket you read first. In the left bracket again you are having two brackets, this bracket and this bracket. Okay, so this bracket, listen here, this bracket, so I write here, this bracket, this one and this one, I am writing here. So this is a normal bracket and this is the, okay, square bracket. So this bracket and this bracket, which is having high precedence, this bracket is having high precedence. This bracket is having high precedence. So first you have to read this. So okay, this bracket you read, first you this bracket. So look at here, you are having this one and this one. This is having high precedence. And inside this you are having this one and this one. This is having high precedence. And in this you read what? X. Okay, X is having this side and this side, which is having a high precedence. This is having high precedence. Okay, because first you say X. X is a operand. X is operand, you say. Operand is having high precedence. X के लिए ये भी fight कर रहा है, ये भी fight कर रहा है. Both are adjacent people are fighting. So which is having high precedence? This is having high precedence. So the first you will say what? X is a function. It is not a pointer. If X is a function. Is that clear? So that is the first thing you study, right? So X is a function. First point. Listen carefully. X is a function. Okay, that is fine. Okay, is a function taking any arguments? No, it is not taking any arguments. When you say it's a function, is it taking an argument? No, it is not taking any arguments. When you say function, is it returning anything? Yes, it is returning pointer. Okay, X is a function, listen here, which is not taking any arguments and it is returning what? Pointer. It is returning pointer. Okay, fine. X is a function which is not taking any arguments, and returning pointer. So when is returning pointer, when you say it is a returning pointer, is this pointer pointing to anyone? Yes, this pointer is pointing to array. Okay, look at here, this pointer is pointing to array of 30 elements. This pointer is pointing to array of 30 elements. This pointer is pointing to array of 30 elements. And what is the 30 elements? That 30 element, every element is what? Again a pointer. Every element is again a pointer. Every element is again a pointer. Pointer to whom? Pointer to what? Function. Okay, every element is a pointer to function. And when you say every element is a pointer to function, Is it taking any arguments? No, it is not taking any arguments. And returns what? Returns character. Returns character. Okay, this is fine. Returns character. Is that clear? Returns character. So I am writing here first. Okay, don't confuse. I will explain everything. Okay, once again. So x is a function. X is a function which does not take any arguments. Which does not take any arguments. Which does not take any arguments and returns pointer. That's it. Okay, x is a function which does not take an argument, returns pointer. Okay, fine. This pointer, okay, what is this pointer is doing? This pointer pointing to an array of 30 elements. This pointer pointing to what? Okay, this pointer pointing to array of 30 elements. Okay, where every element, okay, every element, what is that every element? Where every element is again what? Pointer. Where every element is a pointer, where every element is a pointer to a function, where every element is a pointer to a function which does not take any arguments, which does not take any arguments, which does not take any arguments and returns character. Returns a character. Okay, so copy that carefully, right? So just give the numberings also. Okay, here x is a function. Listen here, x is a function which does not take any arguments, returns pointer, and this pointer is pointing to what? Array of 30 elements. This pointer is pointing to array of 30 elements, and what is that every element? What is that element? 30 elements. That 30 element, every element is what? Again a pointer. So when every element is again a pointer, so then what is that pointer pointing to? Pointer is pointing to what? Function which does not take any arguments and returns what? Character. So copy this. Ravish, it is not required. Only terminology is required. We are expecting only terminology. You can try. The heading says terminology. क्या बोलोगे? What is the terminology? Just a terminology. क्या बोलोगे? What you are going to read this? What you are going to read this? Okay, that is only you have to say. So meaningfully you try. Meaningfully you try. Meaningfully you try. अरे गोविंद मिश्रा, don't worry about the syntax and all that. It's just a terminology है. Terminology. क्या बोलोगे? What you are going to read this? That only you have to concentrate. Govind Mishra. Don't worry, proper syntax things and what is the name? There is no type. Just a terminology. What is the heading? Heading क्या पढ़े? What is the heading? Just a terminology for various expressions. Terminology means what? क्या बोलोगे? Right. So I'm helping you, right? It's okay, right? So you start from left to right. You are having this bracket and this bracket. So look at here, just listen carefully first. You are having this bracket and this bracket, which is having high precedence, this one. So in this, again you are having two inner brackets. So you are having this bracket and this bracket. So this is also this bracket and this bracket. So this is having high precedence. Okay. So inside that, you are having argument, operand. These are the operators. So first you read x. First you read x. X के लिए क्या find कर रहा है? Okay, this bracket and this star and okay square bracket. Okay, both are fighting. So which one you read first? Square bracket. So x is an array of 3 elements where every element is a pointer. Simple. Is that clear? You know this already. Repeat कर रहा हूँ. Okay, you are having this bracket, this one, okay, this one and this one. This is having high precedence. And inside this, okay, you are having this bracket, okay, either say either and this bracket. So this is having high precedence. Okay, because left to right associativity. Inside this you are having x star and 3, okay, this square bracket. So x is having high precedence because operand. So what you will say? X is the array of 3 elements. That is the first point. X is the array of 3 elements. Okay, listen here. So x is the array of 3 elements. This is the first thing you read. X is array of 3 elements and every element is what? Pointer. Every element is a pointer. So you know this. X is array of 3 elements where every element is a pointer. So pointer to whom? Pointer to a function. Okay, where every element is a pointer to a function which does not take any arguments. Where every element is a pointer to a function, okay, which does not take any arguments. When you say this is the function, it is a pointer to a function. Is it taking arguments? No. Okay, then when you say it's a function, is it returning anything? Yes. Okay, this function is returning what? Pointer. That function returns pointer. So when you say that function is returning pointer, is it pointing to anyone? That pointer is pointing to anyone? Yes. That pointer is pointing to array of 5 elements. Okay, that pointer is pointing to, okay, array of 5 elements and where every element in the array is what? Character. Every element in the array is character. So I'm repeating. Listen here first. Listen. So first you read this. X is an array of 3 elements. X is array of 3 elements where every element is what? Pointer. X is array of 3 elements where every element is a pointer. So pointer है, pointer किसके लिए है? So pointer to what? Pointer to a function. So okay, every element is a pointer to a function. When you say it's a pointer to function, is it taking an argument? No, it is not taking an argument. Okay, when you say it's a function, it is not taking an argument. Is it returning anything? Yes, returning what? Pointer. And when you say it's returning pointer, this pointer is pointing to anyone? Yes, this pointer, okay, this pointer is pointing to what? Array. Number 4, this pointer is pointing to array of 5 elements, and where every element is what? Okay, character. Every element is a character. So you have to read like this. So I'm writing here. So x is a function. Sorry, x is a array. X is a array of 3 elements. X is array of 3 elements where every element is a pointer. Where every element is a pointer. So where every element is a pointer. Okay. So every element is a pointer pointing to function, where every element is a pointer pointing to function which does not take any arguments. Okay, it is not taking arguments, that is returning what? A pointer. This does not take any arguments and returns pointer. Okay, and next this pointer. Okay, what is that pointer is doing? This pointer is pointing to an array of 5 elements. This pointer is pointing to an array of 5 elements where every element is a character. Yes, Abhijit, excellent. Yeah, Karthik Gupta, excellent. Many students are writing excellent. Mostly right. पकड़ लिए सब लोग? Yeah, small corrections, somebody doing mistake, but it's okay. Yes. Yes. Okay. So the next, maybe this is the last one. This is easy. You can easily make it. Okay. So this is easy, right? So just copy this. right? So you are having this bracket, okay, you are having this bracket, nothing is there in this, okay, it's a previous one only. So here this bracket you read first, right? So this bracket you read this first, okay. PTR is a pointer, PTR is a pointer to function, okay, simple. So understand here, nothing is there in this, this is a simple one only, previous one only I used here. So PTR is a pointer, pointer to a function, simple. Okay, PTR is a pointer to a function, okay. PTR is a pointer, okay. This bracket you have to read this first. PTR is a pointer to a function, okay, which takes two arguments. What are the two arguments? We write later. PTR is a pointer to a function which takes two arguments, and returns what? Void. Returns void. This it. Okay, right? That's it. Right? PTR is a pointer to a function which takes two arguments. What are the two arguments? We'll write later on. PTR is a pointer to a function which takes two arguments and returns what? Void. And what are that arguments? Okay, you write later. Okay, so you write later. So tell me. So PTR is a pointer to a function. PTR is a pointer to a function which takes two arguments. And returns void. So understand here. So PTR is a pointer. Okay, it's a pointer to a function which takes two arguments and returns void. Okay, so this is the first statement over here. And what are that arguments? Okay, note down. The first argument. First argument is now tell me what is the first argument. Okay, first argument already you know. Okay, first argument, what is this? A pointer. Okay, look at here. First argument is a pointer to a array of two elements where every element is what? Integer. That's it. First argument is what? A pointer pointing to an array of two elements. Okay, first argument is what? A pointer pointing to an array of two elements. Okay, array of two elements and every element is a integer. Every element is integer. Okay, and next second argument. What is the second argument? That also you already studied. The second argument is what? A pointer pointing to a function which does not take any arguments and returns integer. Okay, second argument is a pointer pointing to function which takes no arguments. Okay, which takes a void. Void means what? No argument. Is that here? So second argument is a pointer pointing to a function which takes no arguments, and returns integer. Okay. Yeah, argument is a void. Void means what? No argument. Is that here? Void means what? No argument. Second one is okay, look at here. A pointer pointing to a function. Which takes a void as argument. Void means what? No argument. Void means no argument. Returns integer. Void means nothing. Void means no argument. No, nothing. It is not taking any argument. That is the meaning of void. Right. So that is the end of pointers. Okay. बहुत बड़ा था सर, लिख नहीं पाए. राइट. ओके फाइन. मैं लिख रहा हूँ यहाँ पे, मैं लिख रहा हूँ, तुमको क्या दिक्कत है? राइट. So understand here. Okay, so that is the end of pointers. So again, something is still pending in the pointers. That is a pointer to structures. Okay, so that is also there. Pointer to structures. One more thing is there, small thing that we'll study in the tomorrow's class. Okay, right? So you start solving the workbook problems. So start solving the workbook problems. Understand carefully. Whatever is there in the workbook. So you try to practice all the questions of the programming. Okay, so especially pointers you can comfortably solve. So what is pending in the programming part? Okay, there's so many other things pending in the programming point. We'll study structures, and next unions, and next is the arrays. We'll study complete arrays. We'll study 1D array, 2D array, 3D array, lower triangular matrix, row measure order, column measure order. We'll study all that. So that is pending, and next recursion is pending. Okay, all tail recursion, non-tail recursion in detail, and next dynamic memory allocations is pending. Okay, so I think maybe 2 more classes. Okay, in the tomorrow class we can finish arrays, up to arrays we can finish. So maybe, so depending on the speed and all that, maybe 2 more classes required maximum for programming. Okay, maybe tomorrow or day after tomorrow mid. So after that we will enter into what data structures. Okay, right. So I hope you enjoyed pointers. So this is the maximum. I think almost, I think we studied 20 hours. 20 hours, I don't know, 5 days or 6 days we studied only pointers. So fine. See you in the tomorrow's class. Okay, notes अच्छे से पढ़ो, read every point in the notes and start solving workbook problems. So take care, bye bye, see you tomorrow.